Good morning. This lesson is from our Trig-Precalc class. This is our first lesson of the year. And this first lesson is going to be about division. And division seems like it's a topic that's actually below us. Something that we shouldn't be really discussing in a class at this level. However, there's subtleties about division that if we start allowing us to think about these outcomes and consequences of division, it's going to help us later on in the year when we have to start thinking about these situations. And so I have a story that I like to tell that allows me to illustrate this big idea about division that you might not have been aware of. And I'm not going to come out and tell you in this video the conclusions that I want us to reach. I want to vaguely allude to what I hope that you can figure out. We will discuss the conclusions, and we'll hopefully have a very deep discussion about the implications of this, and we can actually connect some dots in your math background that you were never really quite aware of. So again, I want to tell you a story about division. And the way that I'm going to tell you this story is I'm going to make an analogy. I'm going to tell you about scooping ice cream. And I have a big tub of ice cream that I've put on the board. And this tub of ice cream is sized in a different way. It's not sized by gallons or liters or pints. It's sized by how many scoops that you can take with what I call a normal spoon, okay? And so this tub of ice cream, if you have a normal spoon, you can take 100 scoops, all right? So I want to make it very clear that in this story about division, the act of scooping is division. So let me write that down so it's very clear, all right? The act of scooping is division. I hope I'm not writing this too low so you can't see it. The act of scooping that is division. Okay, so this is division in this analogy. And for some reason, whenever I imagine people eating ice cream out of the tub, I always imagine that they're crying. I don't know why I relate the two, but I always picture people crying when they're eating ice cream out of the tub. If you're eating out of a bowl or out on a cone, you're not crying, but when it's out of the tub, you're crying. I don't know why. So anyways, back to this story. This tub of ice cream, if I use what I call a normal spoon, which is the middle spoon of these 5 spoons that I've drawn, if I use this spoon and I scoop, I can take 100 scoops with this spoon, and this tub of ice cream will be gone. And all I'll be left with are my tears. Okay. So this normal spoon, 100 times of scooping, this is gone. Now, notice that I have larger spoons and I have smaller spoons. Right? And so what I want you guys to consider is I want you to start to consider, and I'm gonna ask you to use 1 or 2 sentences, not a thesis, but just as simply as you can put it. Tell me about how many scoops you can take with this. Then tell me how many scoops you can take with this, right? And justify why. Like, you can take this many scoops because, just clarify your answer, right? Now, on the smaller side of the normal spoon, I want to ask you the same question. How many scoops can you take with this? And then how many scoops can you take with that little guy, right? And maybe in answering this question about these spoons that are smaller than normal, you might realize something about division that you never really understood, even though you've been dividing for many, many years of your life. I know it's probably since the 3rd, 4th grade. So maybe you've come to a discovery when you're thinking about how many scoops you can take with this smaller spoon. And then I want to end this discussion about division. Remember, division is the act of scooping. I want to end this discussion is, what do you think happens as the spoons get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? And I mean big. I mean, try to imagine an insanely large spoon, right? I mean, let your mind go. And then, the same type of question on this side. What happens as the spoon gets so small? Smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So small that in fact you can't even see it. How many scoops can you take then? All right. And I guess actually I lied, there's one more question. One more observation. How many scoops can you take if the spoon is so small that in fact it has no size? Okay. So that's the end of the first lesson. A lesson in division. All right. And hopefully you've realized some things about division that you never noticed. It was always there in front of you. And hopefully our perspective has changed. Right? And so that's it for this first lesson. I hope it makes sense. We will have a discussion about it. And that concludes it. So have a good day, everybody.